What's up, music lovers? Thanks for clicking on my channel. Published in 2010, I Am Ozzy is the autobiography of who else? Ozzy Osbourne. And being that, like a lot of Black Sabbath fans, I'm still missing Ozzy, and that apart from music, movies, and history, reading is another one of my biggest passions. I figured, why not take the chance to talk about this book? And whenever reading an autobiography by a rock star, there's always that concern that they're going to feel very stale, and it's going to be obvious that they were written by a ghostwriter, that they're going to be lacking that voice of the author because they're not actually written by the author, and they're going to be missing that readability and that smoothness that books written by professional writers tend to have. And even though this book is credited to being co-written by Chris Ayers, it is unmistakably Ozzy Osbourne talking to you. His self-deprecating form of humor is instantly recognizable from the first couple of pages. A page with just one sentence saying, "They said I'd never write this book. Now all I have to do is remember," followed by a blank page. The book is breaking the fourth wall. It's really fun to read when the author is looking at you and being like, yeah, this is a book, and I might mess around with your perception from time to time. And for as outrageous and hilarious as this book is, which being written by Ozzy, you know, it's going to be insane, what really makes it stand out, in my opinion, is just how emotionally vulnerable and sensitive he's able to be. He's incredibly honest about his shortcomings and his regrets in life, and at times this book comes across more like a confession. And his ability to be so honest with himself and the parts of his life that he regrets makes him a lot more likable, because he feels a lot more human and a lot more real. We all have things we regret. And something else that makes Ozzy Osbourne very likable in this book is how grateful he is for his life and how many positive things he has to say about other musicians, other entertainers, just people in general. Whether it's Elton John, his dad, Sharon, Randy Rhoads, the guys in Black Sabbath, even though there's times where they butted heads, you can tell how much he cared about them and how overall happy he was just to know them. I mean this as a compliment because they're my favorite animal of all time, but Ozzy kind of comes across like a dog at times, and I mean that in a positive way, because he's a lovable goofball who you might come home and find out that he chewed up your pillows and there's just stuffing all over the place, but you look at him and you're like, ah, you're just such a nice guy, you're so full of love. You know what? I'll let it slide. You know anyone who chews up pillows? Huh? You know anyone who's chewed up a pillow before, buddy? It's okay. I love you. Party animal, ultimate rock star, someone who's an absolute madman but also really emotionally intelligent at times. I mean, there was never anyone like Ozzy Osbourne. There will never be anyone like him again, and that's one of the big reasons why this book just is so good. My mom and dad, they put up with a lot. That's funny. Now, with that being said, this book is of course not for everyone. You know, if you're not a fan of Ozzy Osbourne, I'm really impressed that you happen to be watching this video. Thanks. Hey, leave a like and subscribe to the channel. But in all seriousness, even if you aren't that big of a fan of Ozzy or Black Sabbath, I still think that there's a lot of humanity in this book, that if you just like reading about people and, you know, their journeys and artist and all that type of stuff, you're still probably going to find a lot to like in it, even if you might not find him as much of a lovable rogue as most people seem to do. And going back to the readability of this book, a lot of rock star autobiographies that are afraid to get very personal will often come across as just listing off things that happened and going through the career highlights, kind of like footnotes, like, oh yeah, this happened, that happened, that happened. But with this book, we are really going on both Ozzy Osbourne's emotional journey as a human being and his career with Black Sabbath, his solo career, reality TV, Ozfest, Sharon, all of that stuff. And he's always taken the time to let us know how he was feeling at that time. What about his life during that era was he unhappy with, or what was he very grateful for? What does he wish he could do over? What does he think he did fine? And we're always going on that journey, so the career is there, but the focus is the main character, Ozzy. And just like with every single autobiography, it's going to be up to the reader to kind of fill in the gaps, read between the lines a bit, and say, okay, well, what are they not talking about? What are they kind of like brushing to the side here and there? But I still think that I Am Ozzy, even though there are a couple moments where you can tell that business was getting in the way, where it's like, hey, don't talk about this, bypass that, it is still way more honest and emotionally vulnerable than pretty much any other autobiography I can think I've ever read. As far as tell-all rock star autobiography books go, it is by far the best. Well, with the exception of maybe My Effin' Life by Geddy Lee. I don't think that it's a coincidence that a lot of the best autobiographies from rock stars come from singers. So there you go, those are my random thoughts on a book that came out 15 years ago at this point, but I think I can speak for every single one of his fans when I say we still miss you, Ozzy. Hopefully you enjoyed my ramblings and could stand to look at my face for this long. If you did like this video, please leave a like, drop a comment, check out some other stuff on the channel. I have an instrumental song out called Waking Giant. There's a link down below if you want to check it out. As always, thank you so much for watching, and I hope to see you at the next video.